Yagami-san.
Hmm?
Have you seen Mafia lately?
Where's this coming from?
She's just not that great with men. I suggest you be more assertive.
Right. Okay.
You mean that friend of yours, Saori-kun? She's got Shintani all riled up. Said he'd have been nicer to you if he knew you had friends who looked like her. Jackass.
Hey, nothing's official yet, guys. Regardless, keep it on the down low, okay?
Yet? That word says more than you think.
Mafia-kun's a prosecutor, right? Isn't it kind of taboo for her to date a defense attorney?
Can we not do this?
Either way, guess the Okubo case comes first. Pleading innocent, yeah?
That's the plan.
What is your plan here? This isn't gonna be an easy win.
Well, I'm working on that. There's one piece of evidence that still bothers me.
Yeah? And what's that?
DNA sample they found from Wakusan. It was in the flatbed of the truck Okubo-kun used for work.
Right. That's why they went after Okubo in the first place.
As for Wakusan's body, it was hidden in the pile of sheets. He said he noticed it when...
And then he panicked. As I've seen, he's a...
Yes, but he insists he didn't commit the murder.
Maybe so, but did we get anything else from that? Like, maybe a DNA sample from...
No, nothing like that.
Well, that's a shame.
Well, that's not my point, though.
That evidence won't win you...
What the hell's your problem?
Was that Shintani?
I think so.
Get back here!
That bastard.
What the hell? Hey! Wait up! Hold up! Hold up!
Not on my watch, you son of a bitch!
Can all lawyers fight like that?
Did you really need to run away like that? I assume...
Part of our research. On the day of the crime, I was making my usual rounds through the ward.
And what time was that?
Around 7.
Please look at this. In other words, this is what Shono-san would have seen when he checked it. Shono-san was lying when he said he saw
Excuse me?
what he saw from the door. He couldn't have been able to So to claim as much in his testimony seems...
But common sense would dictate...
The staff nurses are trained. In Waku-san's case, there was actually one time a while only to find Waku-san eating in the... And upon re-examining the room, we realized that
The witness makes an important distinction. The prosecution asserts that Shono-san's testimony that the victim was taken out of his room at some point between... Shono-san.
Yes?
I'll get right to the point. On the day of the crime, what did you see when you looked into Waku-san's room?
I saw Waku-san asleep in his bed, I think.
And did you get a clear look at his face?
I don't remember.
So it's possible that it could have been someone other than Waku-san in that bed. Or maybe even a pillow that you mistook to be Waku-san's body. Isn't that right?
Objection! The defense is leading the witness.
Sustained. Please rephrase the question.
Shono-san, can you say without a doubt that Waku-san was in that bed when you checked on him?
I don't think I can, no.
Then the defense rests. But I do have a quick remark for the prosecution.
Huh?
The charges against my client stem from your assertion that he's the only possible suspect, assuming the crime took place within the stated time frame. However, the defense has proven without a doubt that Shono-san's testimony is unreliable, establishing reasonable doubt for my client. I would suggest then that you withdraw the charges against my client. With such inconclusive evidence, you'll only be wasting the court's precious time.
The prosecution does not consider the witness's testimony inconclusive. His memory of the incident may be fuzzy, yes, but that doesn't change that he saw the victim.
So, your whole case is based on a fuzzy memory? This promising young man's future is at stake, and you're willing to throw that away on unreliable testimony?
Dr. Shono is a bright and diligent researcher. After watching his own grandmother develop dementia, he vowed to create a drug that could cure the disease. After paying his own way through medical school, he went on to become the head researcher at the ADDC. Day after day, Dr. Shono visits his sick patients out of the kindness of his heart, leading to his valiant testimony here today. If you want to know whether I trust this man, then my answer is a resounding yes.
In other words, because he's such a great researcher, his testimony is infallible. His own admission that he's not sure is somehow overlooked? Is that the sum of it? Because from here, it sounds like you're putting your faith in Shono-san's title, not his testimony today.
The prosecution is not as easily swayed as you think. And you want to talk reputation? What of your client's history of domestic abuse? 6 years ago, the defendant broke his girlfriend's finger. The poor girl is still suffering from the effects. And the cause? A minor, drunken disagreement. Now, fast forward to what occurred a few days prior to the crime. Waku-san, suspecting the defendant of stealing his wallet, lashed out and punched the defendant in the face. Given the clearly violent nature of Okubo-san here, that alone would be motivation enough to murder the poor old...
Is something wrong, ma'am? Please remain seated while court is in session. Terasawa-san?
Okubo-san is not a violent person.
Hi.
Something wrong?
No, it's nothing, Vice Minister.
But...
I haven't seen you in about 3 years, Kido-san. I see you're still the director.
You look familiar, but I can't quite place the name. I seem to recall you looking sharper.
I'm a detective based in Kamurocho now. The name's Yagami.
Ah, I remember now. You're the reason Terasawa-kun's no longer with us. Remember, Shono?
Okubo-san was unstoppable. If only my testimony had been better.
Shono-san, right?
Does it matter? What brings you here anyway?
I'm investigating a murder, and I'll need your cooperation with it. Just like old times.
Yes, I see. Yes. Thank you.
The mole's latest victim was the lawyer, Shintani. The last call he made brings the case that ruined Yagami 3 years ago back to the surface. A patient was taken from a hospital and found buried in the mountains. Yagami defended the suspect, Shinpei Okubo, and got an acquittal. But 1 month later, he murdered his girlfriend, Emi Terasawa, with a kitchen knife and burned the remains.
I'd like to speak to you as a material witness to the murder of the lawyer, Masamichi Shintani.
Is that so?
I'm Hoshino, an attorney at Genda Law Office. Officer, is this interview voluntary, or...?
It is.
It's your call, Yagami-san.
I think I'll pass.
Excuse me?
You have your answer, sir. You can go now.
You can make this easier if you come now. Next time, it won't be voluntary.
Your empty threats don't mean much to a lawyer.
Can you take this elsewhere? I really must be...
Too bad he's not a lawyer anymore, then. Your friend's nothing now. Quietly. I'll come back with a warrant if I have to.
I'd like to see you try. Why do you suspect me anyway? I bet you don't even have a reason.
I can come up with a few good ones.
Enough! Get the hell out of my office.
You'll regret this, Yagami.
Kuroiwa-san.
You two, out.
Before we go, can we speak to Shono-san for a sec? We need to know why Shintani called him.
Listen, I already told you he doesn't know. Get it through your skull. Now, please leave.
No problem. We'll let you get back to work.
This is really getting out of hand, don't you think? I can't believe that detective thinks you're a material witness.
Yeah. I don't know, but what I'm more interested in is how he...
That's a good point. How would the police know we were here?
For now, let's focus on Shono, though. It would be a waste coming here and not talking to him.
Agreed. Let's see if the
Can I help you?
Actually, I've already been here. I was just with Director Kido, remember?
Of course. Did you forget something, sir?
Well, not exactly. I'd actually like to speak to Shono-san, the 89 researcher. Where would I be able to find him?
Let me search wing. I believe he's in...
Probably need a gold keycard to get in there, huh?
That's correct, sir. I should be able to lend... Just give me a moment to ask. Could you tell me your name, sir?
Actually, never see earlier. I'll try back.
There's no chance Kido-san would let us in.
At least now.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a map around here somewhere.
The service entry people come in and out through here. This is where Okubo's truck was parked 3 years ago. What? Hey. Director Kido's office. We were just in there. Suspicious. I think Waku-san was up on the 4th floor. To the research wing.
The receptionist said he would be in the protein abnormalities lab, right? Huh. Well, I guess...
The ADDC lobby. Hey. What the? Hey. Some kind of security gate, huh?
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am?
This is one of Shono-san's researchers. She was just a...
Oh?
My name's Hashimoto. I can show you into Dr. Shono's lab if you'd like.
Are you sure?
Of course.
Great. We'll take you up on that.
Wonderful. Hashimoto-san just happened to be passing through.
Thank you.
Right this way.
I really appreciate this, Hashimoto-san. I'm Yagami.
And I'm Hoshino, from the Genda Law Office. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, don't mention it. I'm glad to help a guest of Director Kido's. This place is so massive, you practically need a tour guide to get around. I hope you're okay with walking.
Oh, that's totally okay. Oh, by the way, we'll be meeting Shono-san in the...
The research wing. He's working in the protein abnormality.
So, Hashimoto-san, what kind of work do you yourself do here?
I'm part of the team developing 89. Dr. Shono is the head of that team, but I'm pretty new around here.
Speaking of, what exactly does AD9 stand for?
Well, the AD comes from the name of the center. The Advanced Drug Development Center, ADDC. And it's the 9th drug our department's developed.
Oh, that was surprisingly easy.
It'll be the first dementia-curing drug on the market, right? Seems like it's really getting fast-tracked because of that. But there's a lot riding on this one, right? It could finally cure Alzheimer's disease.
That's right. Do you know how many dementia patients there are in Japan alone?
A couple 100,000 at least. Maybe even in the millions?
Right. As of 2012, there were 4.62 million.
That many?
By 2025, that number will increase to at least 7 million. Potentially up to 13 million, including at-risk patients. That's 1 in every 9 people.
Yikes.
However, as a nation, we're already at capacity in caring for these patients. In many cases, people over 60 are stuck looking after their dementia-struck parents in their own homes. Worldwide, it's estimated there will be 135 million patients by the year 2050. It's staggering. In other words, AD9 could save the world. This could be a real miracle.
I gotta say, this is making me feel kinda bad about how we treated Kido-san back there.
Director Kido will go down in history if we achieve this.
A lot's changed in 3 years. The bastard's really made a name for himself.
Be nice.
Dr. Shono is right over there. Well, if you'll excuse me.
Shono-san.
Yagami-san? But, how did you get in here?
Hey, calm down. I just want to talk.
I can't do that. Kido-san doesn't know you're here. Does he?
Is there a problem?
Ichinose-san.
I've never heard you raise your voice, Shono-san.
Aren't you the guy from the lobby?
My name is Ichinose. I'm here from the Ministry of Health, offering political support to AD9's development.
Kido-san called you Vice Minister.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Pretty lofty for a Vice Minister. You can boss scientists around, but I'm not biting.
So I see.
Shono-san, please. I just need a few minutes to talk. We'll leave right after we're done, promise.
I already told you I can't. Not without Kido-san here.
I need you to tell me. Why did Shintani call you?
Shintani? I've never heard that name in my life.
This is important, Shono. You have to have some idea.
Please, I don't. Now get out of here. I'm calling Director Kido.
Do what you want. Just let me ask you one thing first. After Shintani was murdered, the killer gouged out both of his eyes. 3 other near-identical murders have taken place in Kamurocho recently. Are you aware of that, Shono-san?
Of course I am. It's all over the news.
And you still have no idea why Shintani called you? Nothing at all?
No, I don't. Now please let me get back to work.
What the? What are you doing here?
Kido-san.
I believe I told you to leave. What about that didn't you understand?
I wanted to ask about Shintani's call.
About which I already said Shono doesn't know anything.
And I needed to hear that from him, not you.
Enough. Call security.
We were just leaving. Come on, Hoshino-kun.
I'll be filing a complaint with the Bar Association, under the Minister's name.
The Minister of Health?
That's right. Minister Kazami expects great things from AD9, and he won't tolerate distractions from your ilk.
I feel like we came up empty-handed. Why would Shintani-sensei have called Shono-san? Yagami-san?
That wasn't the first time I've heard about Minister Kazami.
Huh?
When was it, though? Who was talking to me about the Ministry of Health? Maybe it was Genda-sensei?
I wouldn't even begin to know, but I know for sure I've never heard the two of you discuss anything like that in the office.
Maybe it was Mafuyu?
I don't know. Have you even seen her lately, though, Yagami-san? I thought, you know...
Yeah, it's been a while. So that means... It must have been Ayabe, when we were drinking over a tender. I definitely remember him mentioning Minister Kazami. We were talking about how the Kyorei clan ended up in Kamurocho. Apparently, they're being used as muscle for a construction company called the Kajihira Group. A while back, Chairman Kajihira himself was going around, laying the political groundwork for a Tokyo revamp project. And one of the people he met with was Naohisa Kazami from the Ministry of Health.
Huh.
You'd think he'd go to the Ministry of Land, though. His project has nothing to do with health. What would he gain from meeting Kazami?
That's true. Do you think it has to do with our case somehow?
I don't know. Depends on what the two of them were talking about.
In that case, maybe our Kajihira expert can help us out with that.
Who?
Sugiura-san. He used to work for them, remember?
Oh, yeah.
So, you want to know how Kajihira and Kazami are connected?
Yeah. Any way you can find that out?
Not really sure, but I'll give it a shot.
Thanks.
You're still at the ADDC, yeah? Just give me some time. I'll call you if I find anything.
Oh, Yagami-san. I'm gonna head back to the office. I just got an email from Saori-san. Apparently, a journalist named Hattori barged into the office. Says he wants to interview you.
Me?
It sounds like he's looking into Shintani-sensei's murder, too. Anyway, I'll go ahead and drive him off.
You'll be Genda-sensei's ace attorney before you know it.
Nah, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Honestly.
Why?
Too much responsibility for a guy my age, you know? I think I make a much better sidekick for now.
Okay. But when that gets old?
I don't know that it will. Being a professional sidekick for the rest of my life sounds okay to me. I'll see you later.